Hi, this is Mike Filipov from PracticeGuitarNow.com, and here in this video I want to put you through a little test that will help you determine how good your vibrato technique is on guitar. If you play guitar for any period of time, you'll likely realize that vibrato is one of the most, if not the most, expressive things you can do on this instrument. Few things are as exciting and as expressive as just playing a single note and holding it out with some really nice vibrato. It has a really cool sound. But unfortunately, a lot of guitar players either take their vibrato technique completely for granted or assume that it's going to develop on its own as their other guitar playing skills develop. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, and I'm going to show you a way to test this here in this video. Before we get started, I want to point out that, of course, vibrato is a very personal thing, and no two guitar players have exactly the same vibrato styles or sounds. And the purpose of this video is to test your general foundation of your ability to do this technique in your playing on just a single note. And if you can do that with good control, the example in the test I'm going to take you through in a moment, then you'll be able to very easily add your own expressive and personal elements to it to make vibrato truly your own. Regardless of the way you may choose to do vibrato in your music, there's one important quality that all great guitar players who have mastered vibrato in their phrasing have in common, and that is the ability to have their vibrato lock in rhythmically with the drums, with the other instruments, and with everything else that's happening in the music. That is what really makes their vibrato technique fit the song. Of course, there's some exceptions in the way that vibrato can be applied, but as the foundation, this is a skill that you need to develop in your vibrato practicing to make your vibrato technique sound awesome every time you play it. To get started, take a metronome or program a drum beat into your computer and set it to some steady tempo that's not too fast, such as 100 beats per minute. That would be a good starting tempo I recommend. And your task will be to play one note on guitar and apply vibrato to it, but your vibrato must lock in rhythmically with the clicks of the metronome or the drums. And this is much more difficult to do than it sounds, as you will find out for yourself as you try to do this. What you're hearing now is a metronome clicking at 100 beats per minute. And what I will do is play one note using vibrato done in quarter notes. This means that there will be one pulse or one bend of the vibrato happening per click. And if you're not sure what the general speed of quarter notes should feel like at this tempo, here's a little example to illustrate. Now here's vibrato done on one note in quarter notes. Now, regardless of your level of mastery of vibrato so far in your playing, you may have found this example to be very simple because the tempo was slow, or you may have found it to be very difficult because you've never practiced in this way before. If you found this to be very difficult, then you know what you need to work on now in your playing to take your vibrato from where it is now to the next level. And if you found it to be very simple, then don't worry because we're going to make things a lot more difficult now with the next example. Now we're going to do vibrato using eighth notes at the exact same tempo, using the exact same note. And if you're not sure what eighth notes should feel like at this tempo, then here's an example to illustrate the speed. And here's what the vibrato sounds like being done in eighth notes. To give you a short demonstration of how this vibrato done in eighth notes can be applied in a musical situation, I'm going to improvise a few simple licks using a faster metronome tempo where the eighth note vibrato really starts to take shape and definition and begins to sound good. Here we go. So this was a short demonstration to illustrate what vibrato done on eighth notes would sound like in a musical context. And if you noticed, I wasn't holding out vibrato on any one note for a very long time, but whenever vibrato was used, it was done primarily in eighth notes. You may have found this last example with eighth notes to be much more challenging, because now you have to be doing twice as many pulses of the vibrato happen in the same amount of time. And if that was the case, then you know that this is what you need to work on to take your vibrato to a higher level. But if you found this example to still be too easy for you, then look out, because here comes the next step. Next, we're going to do vibrato in triplets. And if you're not sure what triplets should sound like at this particular tempo, here's an example to illustrate what that speed should be like. And here's what vibrato sounds like done in triplets at this tempo. Now here's a little demonstration of vibrato being done in triplets in a few musical phrases put together to show you how that would sound like in a musical way as well. So this was another short demonstration of how to use vibrato in triplets and applying it to a musical phrase. And notice here also that whenever I used vibrato, I was not holding it out for nearly as long as I did when I was demonstrating to you the concept of practicing it in triplets. But whenever vibrato was used in this example, I was using it in triplets all the time. Now that you've gone through the process of testing your ability to do vibrato using a variety of different note values, what you should do is apply the same basic process that you would use to build your speed with scales and arpeggios and other exercises to challenge your vibrato further. And that is to gradually increase the metronome tempo and continuously challenge your ability to do the technique in a controlled way at a faster and faster tempo. Just like I was demonstrating to you in the examples, you need to keep the pulses of the vibrato locked in rhythmically with the metronome or the drums, and you must also keep the note in tune. This is incredibly important for making your vibrato sound good overall. Of course, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, you're not going to be doing vibrato in only one way for an extended period of time whenever you use it in your guitar playing. But the point of this test process and this whole video is to show you how to train in the fundamentals of what makes your vibrato sound good and controlled on one note. And when you can just do this, then you can build upon this basic foundation and apply this concept in a variety of different ways in your own unique style. A good goal to reach using the practice approach I just described would be to do vibrato at about 130 beats per minute using triplets. And if you can do it at that speed and keep the note in tune, in control, and in time, then you can congratulate yourself, because you have reached a level of vibrato mastery that few guitar players ever reach. And even though you may rarely use vibrato at that fast of a speed in your guitar playing, having the ability to do it at that speed if needed will give you the best foundation that will enable you to then take this concept and apply it in your own unique way, in the way that best suits your style. Here's a brief demonstration of what that would sound like with vibrato being done in triplets at 132 beats per minute. Now, if you find yourself struggling with doing the exercises that I went over with you in this video, then what you need to work on is the foundation of what makes your vibrato technique work, such as the best way to move your hand and the best way to achieve the right sound of vibrato in your guitar playing. And to help you do exactly that, I have another video that I want you to watch, which is on my website, and it's also totally free for you, that goes over in detail the best way to practice vibrato. You can find it by opening the link at the bottom of this video, and there's also a clickable link you can click on directly below the video player. So click on this link now and you'll be taken to the page with the video, and I'll see you there soon.